YouTube, vinyl community, people who want to change the cartridge on their turntable, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we are here today because I need to change the cartridge on my turntable. This is my TAC TN400S, I believe is the exact model of it. And recently, the cartridge that came with it, the stylus that's on it, got bent. So stupidly, I went to move this thing, I didn't have the arm locked down, and the thing skirted across the felt mat, just completely bent the stylus completely out of whack. So kind of sucks, but in a good way. It was like, it gives me a chance to upgrade my gear, and I love this turntable, so I finally got to upgrade this thing. So, you know, looking for the good things out of the bad, I suppose. But I decided to go with the Sumiko Oyster Series Pearl. And let me see if I can get that in the light there. This is not a paid advertisement at all. Sumiko did not send me this. I bought this with my own money, but Sumiko sent me free stuff. So we're going to try this out today. I've read so much about them for so long, and I've always been interested in them. They have a very wide frequency response. So you're going to get the lowest of the lows, everything in the middle, and the highest of the highs, the toppermost of the poppermost, if you will. And I haven't heard one bad thing about them, so I was really stoked to give this a try. So this is what we're going to do today, is install this new cartridge onto this turntable and show you exactly how to do it step by step, hopefully making it rather easy. So here we go. Alright, so this was easily the hardest part of this entire project. Basically, you have to take these screws off, and my hands are huge. So you have these little tiny washers. So once you undo the screws, I mean, that part's easy, but getting the washers off was a little bit difficult. Here I'm using these little eyeglass screwdrivers that I have for my eyeglasses. And this seemed to be a little bit more productive to get them off. Something that you think wouldn't take a long time was, it just took for bloody ever. I mean, I would say at least 10 minutes were spent trying to get these washers off, because they were really on there too. They came like that from the factory. I'm pretty sure the cartridge on this thing is an Audio-Technica AT95E, or a version of that. It resembles one. It doesn't say it on it specifically, but for a while, TAC turntables were coming with Audio-Technica cartridges pre-installed. So it was a great cartridge, it really was, but, you know, stupid me had to go and bend the needle. But alright, so we got that thing popped out, badoink, there we go. Now you see all those little connectors back there, and all those connectors make the sound happen. So with a pair of standard tweezers here, I'm just taking these things off very carefully, and I'm going to speed up the video in a moment to make the video go by faster so we're not here all day. But yeah, they're on there pretty good, so you guys gotta wiggle it a little bit and just be very, very careful as you take them apart. So here's the fast forwarded part of the video, where you're just being really, really careful, giving them a pull, because they're pretty fragile, so just gotta be careful with them. One more after this, and it's out. And there you go. That's what the cartridge looks like on its own. Yep, we get it. Ah, there's the front. Okay. And just for good measure, here's what the bent stylus looks like. Look at that thing, completely hanging to the right there. I did a number on that thing. There's no fixing that. Ah, the Sumiko Pearl. I mean, first off, look at this packaging. It comes in this deluxe wood box. I mean, look at this thing. It's a piece of art. And then nicely coated inside that foam there is the cartridge itself with a little protective piece of plastic on top. And one thing you have to remember is a lot of these things come with tools that you'll need. So check under the styrofoam, under that spongy stuff there, because that's where you'll see this little brush and mini screwdriver. And they come in extremely handy. It also comes with the screws that you'll need to screw the new cartridge onto the head shell. So in this part of the video here, the colors of the cartridge and the corresponding wires are in different positions. So this part of the video is me realizing that, and then having to just take the wires and kind of pull them out a little bit to get to them, and then kind of arrange them accordingly to the cartridge. Not all cartridges will be like this. A lot of them come looking the exact same way your factory one was, but this one's set up a little bit different. Not a big deal, not a headache, easy solve. And again, sliding these things back on with some tweezers very carefully, and then applying some pressure to kind of squeeze the terminals into place on top of the, I don't know, connector piece. Not sure the technical term is. So I took the head shell off because it was easier, at this point anyway, to get these screws and washers back on so it holds the cartridge in place. So that was a lot easier to do. A lot of turntables have these removable head shells, which is just fantastic. And all you gotta do to line it back up is match that little pivot that they have in there, so it matches it perfectly to make it center and flush and even, so nothing's out of whack. And then I pulled out a record just to see exactly what the cartridge weight had become, because this cartridge was a little bit heavier, I think, or maybe a little bit lighter, I can't remember. But basically what I had to do was just realign the weight on the back to make it as even as possible. I don't have a tone arm guidance, I forget what they're called. I don't have one of those things. I just eyeball it and listen to it and watch it. So in the next clip here, you'll actually see me sort of in front of the record, flush to it, watching the needle, making sure it's in the groove correctly. So I'm dropping the record there, dropping the arm there. Can anyone tell me what that record is? What do you think it is? But there's me just investigating. The only hard part about this entire process is those little tiny washers and trying to get those onto the screw. It's an effort in patience and sanity. So if you can just be aware that those tiny screws are going to cost a lot of your time. The other part's easy. That part's a no-brainer. But those screws took me a good 20 minutes trying to get that on there. I'm just like really intensely concentrating. And my hands are gigantic, so it doesn't help. So if you know someone with small hands, they'd be great for this. Pay them wisely. Pay them well, because I can't do it. But anyways, it's set up. It sounds good. It looks good. I'm really excited to break it in some more and keep playing records on it, because it's a great turntable. These TAC turntables are fantastic. These clip speakers are good. And I know someone's going to mention this in the video, but basically these clip speakers, these are powered speakers. And I'll do a video about these as well. But the reason why they're so close to each other is because I wanted them to fit on this little shelf here, and this is my bedroom, so it's not going to be cranked very loud. So having them against the wall is alright. They're not going to be throwing out audio super far and wide. They're also a horn-based tweeter, so they're not going to be spread out too far anyway. It's more directional with horn-based tweeters, so it's fine for the setup that it is. Ideally, you'd want the speakers much further apart to create some sort of sound staging, but it is what it is. Whole different video. Anyways, that was me putting on the Sumiko Pearl cartridge on my TAC turntable. That was really fun. I'm excited to have a really nice professional cartridge on there now. And yeah, let me know what you thought. Do you have this cartridge as well? Have you heard it? What do you think about it? And how long does it take you to put those washers on those screws? Very curious to know all about that. My name is Giggens. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this was informational and you learned something and you're able to put your cartridge on now too. And let me know what you thought. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.